basically we're talking about recruitment planning in half an hour, which is a difficult ask, but is very doable. I remember being in a meeting not so long ago, and at the end of the meeting we did a 10-minute recruitment plan session, and it does work, because people, when they're thinking quickly, good ideas come out. That's me. I prefer that picture to my current one. And in a job centre once, when I was doing a recruitment drive, somebody called me a posh Geordie, which I absolutely loved. But I'm not actually technically a Geordie, I'm a Northumbrian, but everybody in Cumbria thinks that I'm a Geordie, a posh Geordie, because I say garage. So I've lived in Carlisle for 25 years, started out in graphic design, marketing, advertising, then CSAC, then marketing, and back to CSAC. And of all the places that I've ever worked in my 25-year career, social care's got me. I don't think I'll ever leave social care. Very marketing mindset, which is very applicable to recruitment and retention. As I said, dedicated to adult social care, and I'm your recruitment and retention project officer. Some of you use me more than others, but I'm here to work with you, basically. I've broken it down into elements that you can take away and digest when you get back to work, and something that you can all easily work in a focus group about. So here we've got the essential elements for recruitment planning. A lot of people don't spend the time to really know the area where they're wanting to recruit. Now, it might be that you want to recruit county-wide, but for example, I'm looking at the moment, Hawkshead. And Hawkshead has an amazing local community built up of people that I would call celebrities. They keep cropping up in all different places. There'll be the vicar, and there's a lady in particular who's a member and a chair of everything. She'll know everything that there is to know about Hawkshead. So I just need to get in the car, go down there, do a recce, look at the villages around about, look at where the sites are for posters, look at the types of housing, and get an idea about the actual area that I'm going to recruit people from. I've got to know your target, so that piece of paper that you've got is our target market. It's massive, absolutely massive. Too big to actually say, right, we're going to bring it down, and discriminatory to bring it down to types of people. But later on I'll talk about what we can do with regards to profiling people's values and the way that they believe. Know your competition. If anybody doesn't know what a SWOT analysis is, have a look when you get back. It's basically strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Some people have a little bit of a different way of looking at that. Know your current plan. Spread yourself out on a table and have a look at what you're doing currently. Appraise it honestly, and have people around the table who aren't going to object if you say, well, that's rubbish or whatever. Know your future. We've done quite a lot at the start of this meeting today about the future of social care, but know the future of your organisation. Know the future of social care in your area. Learn from picking the brains of county council, like Sir Mary Bradley. Learn about what's happening in the future within your local area. Don't think about the present. Too many of us think about this month's recruitment problems. Know your recruitment profile. I don't know how many profile candidates here. Anybody used that profiling? No? Well, we'll talk about that later. Create your brand new toolbox, which is absolutely fantastic, really exciting and good fun, and it doesn't need to cost a lot. Identify champions. I'll come to them later. They're vital. Allocate resources. A lot of people get a bit stuck at that bit because they haven't got any, but they don't need to be expensive resources. And what's next, Leslie? So those are my basic elements of a recruitment planning. Now, time plan. A lot of people don't time plan, but if I was to time plan a recruitment campaign, it would be dead easy. It would just be 12 sections at least on a grid, and then this bottom bit would be PR, and that bit there would be recruitment, advertising or promotion or whatever you want to call it. And you would have a standard ongoing promotion for the year, and then in between PR. And then a lot of people think, bloody hell, we can't do that. We haven't got the manpower to do that. We find it difficult enough to do something on a monthly basis. But that, for a manager, is a problem to overcome. But you've got volunteers, You've got people who've possibly retired from your organisation who are absolutely fantastic and crying out to get back into workplace. You've got people, graduates. So there are different ways of actually being able to do something like this other than use stressed and overworked or time precious employees within your organisation. But I would say that always have a focus group of people who are interested in recruitment and retention. And agree your retention plan. A lot of people don't have a retention plan. They don't have a lot of recruitment plans going around, but a lot of people don't have a retention plan. Before you start to recruit, have a retention plan, because it's pointless doing a recruitment plan or a recruitment promotion if your retention isn't working. You need to have that retention plan as well. So, know your areas. Who's got a bloody great map on the wall? You've got a bloody great map on the wall, right? Everybody should have a bloody great map on the wall or in the computer, and picture the areas where they are okay for recruitment, or in the future they think that we'll probably lose somebody there. Plot where you need staff in which areas of your locality, and that might be right across the county, but it's probably be in key areas. And because of the pattern of your workforce migration and incoming workforce, you'll be able to hopefully dictate a little bit about where you're going to have those ebbs and flows in your workflows. So identify them, have them on the wall so that you're always aware of them. I've got a huge map and I've got a wall planner as well. I'm not a one for computer calendars yet. And my wall planner and my map are God basically in my office. Your aims, what are your aims? Now the two most ones are, how many new staff and where, but you might have more aims than that. You might have the hours that you expect or want somebody to work, the type of job. It might be a new job, so you might have more aims than that, but it's usually how many staff and where. And then research the area thoroughly, and that can be through your existing staff, or like I would do, get in a car. I'd get in a car on a Saturday, but I'm sad, and I would probably go to Hawkshead for the day just to have a look around and go around all the areas and make notes and pick up the phone on Monday and talk to that woman who's the chairman of the WI and is on all of the committees in the village. Find out about local events, find out about the councillor for the area, and the area celebrities, I call them, people that will be a mine of information about that specific area. Know your target market. I've got here all the different types of people in your community, and I'll share with you that when I meet a lot of organisations, they do have an idea of the kind of person that they're looking for, and they streamline it so that it is, and this is me being up front, it can be, we're looking for somebody of about 45 to 55, life skills, who's done care before, who's NVQ2 or NVQ3. We want them to come in and just be able to get on with it and work straight away. Now that person might not be the builder who's going to be an absolutely cracking support worker or care worker for you. It might be that they're a job hopper, and yeah, they've got all of those things, but they're only going to be with you for 3 months until another advert goes in the paper and they're advertising for a higher hourly rate. So be careful about streamlining your vision for your workforce. And like Kathleen was saying, she's bringing in apprenticeships. A demographic of the workforce is altering. It's becoming a more healthy demographic for your workforce and less worrying for the future. There's not many of us at the moment are even looking at apprentices, but there are probably some categories in your local community there who would become apprentices. And also, if you're looking to target a certain section, for example in Kendal, you might be wanting to pitch your advertising at everybody, but you need to attract everybody in that. And look at your website, look at the copy in your website. Are you putting off any of the people that are in that bit of paper? Are you showing off to any of the people that are in that piece of paper that you've got? For example, the gay man that we were talking about before with the hairdresser thing that Stephen was talking about. Do you promote the fact on your website that you are an equal opportunities employer for all of the different groups of people in the community? Are you pushing that out? Are you saying, you know, we have apprentices, we have this, we have that, we have the other, so that people think, I'd like to work for this organisation. They've got the culture that I want. Your competition and your SWOT. Know your competition. Now, I know that historically, working in this job, everybody wants to know some key things about the competition in their area. And it's usually things like hourly rate, it's usually things like benefits, and we all ring up and ask for application packs and such like to try and find out about other organisations. If somebody is offering a fantastic benefits package, and if they are retaining the staff, and if you're losing your staff and you're not competing with that benefit package, it might be that you don't need to. It might be some underlying reason that people are leaving, and we'll talk about retention later. But it's being aware that you're not losing by drip, drip, drip your staff somewhere else because you're not aware of the competition characteristics in your area. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Again, I don't know whether you do that on a regular basis. Focus groups are absolutely fantastic for that. So if you get a 5, 4, 3 staff who are interested in your recruitment, who want to get involved, have ideas, and who would come and sit on a focus group, ask them what your strengths and weaknesses are as an organisation. And then push them, push your strengths and work on your weaknesses. What opportunities are out there? That's things like, if I was looking at Silith, for example, and looking at the Silith area, I'd be looking at things like the largest outdoor market in Cumbria. I'd be looking at the Solway Visitor Centre. I'd be looking at the beer festival that they have on the front. I'd be looking at the Solway Buzz, the local newsletter magazine. I'd be looking at the minibus that comes from Silith to Carlisle every day. I'd be looking at lots and lots of local opportunities to piggyback and market your organisation and your jobs within certain areas if you're looking at local recruitment. So find out what opportunities there are in your area and what threats there are in your area as well. It might be that there is work in that area, but it might be that it's 1, 2, 3 clients. How are you going to manage it if one of those clients passes away or has to go into hospital? How are you going to work that threat in that particular area? And that's thinking outside the box, as Leslie was talking about. Know your current plan. Yeah, who leads on your recruitment within your organisation? A lot of people have an organisation where a boss leads on recruitment and retention. Somebody that sometimes hasn't got a lot of time, has the will, has the enthusiasm, but hasn't got a lot of time. So it's, who do you want to lead on recruitment? And now, recruitment for me, I think more people, and this is just a personal opinion, within organisations should have recruitment officers. You could probably employ somebody for about 1/10 of what you would spend on failed recruitment and retention. I would suggest looking at a volunteer for it if it's something that you can't, and then if it's viable, employing somebody, because it's such a valid area to have a member of staff working on for you. Somebody who can say, get round a table, be open and not feel closed in by any of the relationships that they have within that organisation. Focus groups are fantastic. Have you got an existing plan? How many of you have got a recruitment plan? Right, so everybody should have a recruitment plan. It can take 10 minutes to produce a recruitment plan. We'll come on to that later. A simple focus for your staff, your management, for you, about where you're going in the next 12 months with recruitment. Too many people ring me up on a Sunday, Thursday, Monday and say, we need an advert in whatever next week or this week. That's not planning, that's panic. That's not recruitment planning. And it's so easy to work up a very simple, easy to achieve recruitment plan. How well's your recruitment plan working? If you haven't got one, we don't need to answer that. And I know, Alison, when I turn this way, I think my voice isn't carrying at the back there. Yeah, I think the brewery are delivering, aren't they? Yeah. Know your future. What are your current organisational trends? Are you up? Are you flat? Are you slightly dipping but you expect to go up? Know your current organisational trends, your workflow. Know what the trends are like. Christmas time, what are the trends? Springtime, January, just after Christmas, what are the trends? Summer, bank holiday, summer holiday time, what are the trends? Leading up, winter, what are the trends? You'll know what your recruitment trends are during your year. And if I sat down with anybody individually here, you'd be able to say, well, we always have a shortfall here, we always have a shortfall there. That time there can be a little bit problematic because of staff holidays. That time there can be a little bit problematic because of illness or what have you. Have you got any plans for your business that are going to affect recruitment and retention? Some of you are putting on great big extensions to your business to develop the business. That's worth shouting about for a recruitment campaign. That's fantastic. And a PR campaign. Future sector changes. We've talked a lot about that today. You know what they are. That's going to go up online. We're not saying that you should go out and have plans for next year, bringing in smartphones and being able to look at people and what they're looking at with Google glasses, but know where we're going, know what's going to happen in your business in the future, and where do you want to be? Where do you want to be as an organisation with your recruitment? Where do you want to go with your recruitment? And forecast future needs. Know your current recruitment or your recruit profile. I'm a great believer in not ever hearing people say, well, we really do need more women than men, and a lot of our clients want women. And I know that's a fact, and I know that's a difficult thing for people to manage. But I hear a lot about we like the maturer people, we like the people who've got the experience, we like the people who've got the qualifications already because we don't need to train them up. But I am a great believer in profiling for values and beliefs. And there's a fantastic kit that's just been put online by the National Society of Social Workers, I think, of Social Care. And it's a full kit working closely with Skills for Care that is actually good, and it takes you through how to profile for values and beliefs very, very cost effectively and easily. So I think the link might be on this, and if it's not, it's on the next presentation this afternoon, and I'll send the link out. And it just takes you through the process of how to profile for the right candidate for your organisation. Create a new toolbox. This is the bit that I get dead excited about and go a bit crackers and think outside the box too much, because the silly thing, like I say, I'd be looking at the chip shops in Silloth. I'd be looking at the local notice boards. I'd be looking at the carnivals. I'd be looking at getting on the village green there on a weekend. I'd be looking at posting stuff through the residential caravan sites, and that's just one little place, Silloth. And I could go on and on and on about places to advertise and promote and put your PR there. And it's quite time consuming to do that kind of thing, and that's why I'm suggesting finding somebody within the organisation who would do it part-time, come back and help you voluntary, looking for volunteers, because to do something well like that is time consuming. Know your budget. I know everybody, us included, have budget limitations now, but the things that I tend to think first in this job aren't the expensive things. The things like Royal Mail door-to-door, for example, it used to be, the last time I did it, about £120 a 1,000 or something. But you can focus right down onto a tiny subsector postal code area, but you need to put that into your recruitment plan at least 11 weeks before you want to do it. And that's why people get wrapped up in that kind of thing. Unless you plan, you can't do a postal drop. And a postal drop for local advertising is fantastic way to go on. No idea is crazy, but align it with your brand. no idea is, nobody around a table should think, oh, I'm not going to put my hand up, that's no way. All of these ideas, when they come out, can be tapered down. They might be way off the mark and a little bit out the box is a bit old-fashioned now.
We do all the time.
Yeah, I'm a bit eccentric, and I'll say one of the jobs that we're working on is a virtual careers fair, an online computer careers fair. Now, once over, if I was in a job, they'd just think, oh, Sandy, for God's sake, settle down. But in CSAC, they're fantastic, and it is very, very doable. But just say it. I mean, not many people would have listened to that, but all credit to CSAC and Leslie. Involve me. If you want ideas that you can taper down to your organisation, involve me. Ring me up and say, any chance that you can come on a conference call? We're having a focus group meeting, we're having a recruitment meeting, and just involve me in that if you're wanting ideas or if you're wanting somebody's experience at costs and such like that, get me to pop in if I'm in Kendal, ask me when I'm down in your neck of the woods and organise a meeting around that, and then we'll come together with some good ideas. Champions. The last organisation that I worked with, we did fantastic campaigns that flopped. And the reason that they flopped was the bosses were running the campaigns with all the good intentions that they had, and then when they got the campaigns, they didn't get cascaded within the organisations. So we tried the new students, the receptionist, somebody really always in that organisation who didn't get to do something like that and had always wanted to do it but hadn't vocalised it. So these champions were absolutely brilliant. They were enthusiastic. They used to ring me up, have you got more of this, have you got more of that? And compared to the natural choice of the boss versus I'm surprised she put herself up for that, or he put herself up for it, they were superb. They were absolutely fantastic. And the campaigns just flew because we were using champions within organisations. So think about your champion, and it's not necessarily you. I've already asked you about who's your champion for recruitment and retention within your organisation. And I bet if I looked back through that Excel spreadsheet, most of the champions within organisations would be managers, owners, MDs, chief execs. Ask yourself, have I really got time to be doing this, or should I be looking for somebody who's going to have the energy and the excitement about marketing, because that's what it is, marketing your organisation and finding people for jobs. Personnel and time, resources. Have a think about your budget realistically. Decent workstation, bit of storage, because you're going to need storage for some of the things that you'll be doing. If you were working with us, you know that we do give out quite a bit of stuff. You need storage. Admin backup as well for the person. This guy's my absolute hero. Does anybody know who he is? Yeah, Steve Jobs. Who sadly passed away from Apple company. He's the guy that said, here's to the crazy ones, because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And so often, because it's such a tough sector for recruitment and retention, we get beaten down and we say, that area there, we can't recruit in that area. I don't believe that. I think you can recruit in any area. It's just how you go about promoting in that area. The difficult thing is retaining in that area after you have recruited them. And that's the most challenging part for me. When that person joins you, retaining them in that area. So I'll help with recruitment in any area that you want, and then it's more over to you when it comes onto the retention side of things, and we'll talk about that later. Agree your retention plan. Before doing anything with recruitment, arrange your retention plan, because one without the other is a total waste of money. And those are my details. And I've talked through that quickly because I wanted some kind of mechanism that you could go back and you could have a look at, reflect on, and come back and say, I'm going to ask her about this, I'm going to ask her to come down to that, I'll ring her up on Monday and have a chat about that. We could do that. She's talking a load of bull about that because that wouldn't work in ours. I'm trying to give you something that you can go back with and say, we could put that into operation within our organisation.